right, going on a little rant today. So just got done showing a villa of ours, and the clients came from out of town and just kind of said, "Oh, well, I don't want to be buying at the height of the market. I'm looking for somebody that's that has to sell, trying to find something. Just don't want to buy at the height of the market." And kind of went over how once COVID hit, the numbers like totally spiked up, and he mentioned yes, but like that's just inflation and numbers and blah blah blah. Okay, well, in 2019, so pre-COVID, the total sales for Kiawah Island were around 300 million. Just at the end of the third quarter of this year, 2025, so about to be 2026, about to be 6 years post-COVID. So only through 3 quarters, we're at $668 million. So I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you when the market's going to come down or what part of the curve that we're on. But all I can tell you is this is where we are today. This is where I think things are going. I can tell you that early on in COVID, there were probably a lot of sales that I missed out on because I was scared to tell my clients, yes, absolutely, pay that monster number for that place because it's always going to be at that height. There were probably multiple sales where I just told my clients, I don't feel comfortable having you spend twice the amount of money on something that 2 years ago was $1 million is now selling for $2 million, and saying all day long that number is going to hold. 6 years later, that number has held pretty good. So I've said this before, but in 2019, the median sale price for a home on Kiawah was 1.5, and over the past 5 years, it is right around the $3 million mark, give or take. So, again, don't have a crystal ball. I can tell you what the market is today. I can tell you the most recent sales. I'm not going to be pulling from 2 years ago or even a year ago. Like, I will, if there's enough comparables, I will dial into the last few months to have you make the best decision on what you're going to pay for a property on Kiawah. But there's no telling. And my client further went on and just talked about how, well, there's we can see all the numbers online, and we see where the trends are. Those trends don't add up. Every once in a while they may get lucky and they may be close, but I've gone on with this on other videos on what home values say on these third-party websites. So Kiawah Island is a private island. There's no Google Earth images. If I told you about a house that we're going to list and I gave you the address, you wouldn't be able to do a Google Street View just to see what it looks like, to see if there's even a home on the site. So I did a pricing analysis of a home last week, and it's been on the market, it's been off the market, and even then Zillow was still pricing this home in the $3 million range. Now this is oceanfront. Like there's no oceanfront property that's sold for less than $5 million in the last 7, 8, 9 years maybe. Teardowns on Eugenia and Surf Song are $7 to $8 million easily. So lean on people that are dialing into the numbers every single day. Not going to tell you what it's going to be worth in a year or 10 years in the future, but I will tell you what they were a month ago and a year ago, and you can generally understand where the market's at today. But to think that you can look at these websites and be fully confident that you understand the market and where it's going, and is just not, that does not check out. I'm trying to think of what else kind of came up during our conversation. And when I talk about investments on Kiawah, the like buying a property on Kiawah, I'm not saying that it's that if you have a little nest egg that you should dump all your money into an investment property on Kiawah because it's only going up and up and up. But if you enjoy the island, you've vacationed here before, you came here with your family, it's a special place to you, you want to spend more time here, I think it's a great option to take some chips off the table and be able to spend time on Kiawah, have the benefit of renting it out and covering some of the expenses. But unless you're going to drop a pile of money into doing a renovation on a property, there's not going to be anything that is cash flowing with a mortgage. So this particular villa that we're looking at is basically a break even. So I think your NOI, your net operating income at the end of the year was around $1,000. So not a moneymaker, but if you were paying cash and you wanted to be able to use the island, you wanted the ability to buy into the Governor's Club, to play golf at a discount, really enjoy the island, have access to the island, and break even and have it really be more of an appreciation play, I think that's the way you need to look at things. There are less sexy markets where you can invest in real estate and probably have a mortgage on a property and be cash flowing. But this is just not one of them, or just not one that I want to promise you that you're going to be able to find. So apologize for my little rant, but had to bring it up. I've had these conversations multiple times. I enjoy having them. It keeps me hungry to be looking at these stats like every single day, and to talk about the pre-COVID numbers in the 300 million range, and listings in the 400 to 500 listings on Kiawah Island, which is insane to think about now. We've got one of our highest levels of inventory in the recent past, and I think we're around 140. So a fraction of what they were pre-COVID, but the numbers are still. I'm not saying they're still crazy high, but ever since COVID has hit, we have been double the total sales numbers for Kiawah ever since, and we're already past double through the third quarter of this year. So could the market come down a little bit? Absolutely. I just think that once COVID hit, there was more recognition, so people obviously knew about Kiawah. My grandparents used to vacation with friends down here in the 80s. They knew about it. I wasn't super familiar with it when I was growing up, but it's a popular place, and ever since COVID, there were a lot of people that really started to recognize the island, and I expected a lot of them to buy and then end up selling. They could move back to their Manhattan townhome or condo or wherever they were, where they were locked down and they weren't able to get out, and there'd be some sort of kind of like fire sale, and we'd see a dip in the market, but it has really been steady ever since. And I think the fact that we're almost 6 years past COVID means that it's still a pretty decent market. So constantly looking at the numbers. They could change tomorrow, which is why we just have to keep looking at them and not keep looking back at the history in the past. But I think it's all interesting, which is why I'm usually dialed into it. So I hope this was helpful. If you're ever interested in looking at anything on Kiawah or have questions, please reach out. I'd love to hear from you.